Last week I shared with you storm wave shelling around Jupiter Inlet. This week I'll continue to shell against big Atlantic storm waves, but this time farther north on Hutchinson Island. This video is actually from one of the same days I walked Jupiter Inlet I shared last time, but have also added an additional day to the mix after that to again share with you one beach walk that was actually over a couple days. Despite the weather conditions and the strong waves, shells were found, including one of my favorite shells, a huge pretty paw. And I stumbled upon a few fossilized shells that were revealed hidden deep in a scarp wall. Welcome to Florida Beach Walks. I'm Roxanne. Let's go shelling. Yes, so previously, this same day, I just came from Jupiter Inlet, and instead of going straight home, I was like, you know what, I have some time, so let me just beach hop Hutchinson Island to see what's around. So this is about either my third or fourth stop, and just to get out and peek at the beach. And this is Walton Rocks, and I was like, oh, there's shells rolling around. So I decided I'm gonna hang around here for a little bit and see what can be found. Yeah, sometimes it's just a hit or miss if I'm gonna find shells rolling around, but there's a few other people on the beach that were also in the water like this, like a couple guys that were trying to snag some shells from these waves. It's like, you see it, you gotta go real quick. So I got my scoop, and let's see what we can find. Look how it's so rough. It's been like the third week like this from this day. It was like the third week. Just crazy. All right, let's see. Okay, I didn't see anything in there. I guess there wasn't much in there. Just trying to get over some more sinus gunk. Let's see, we got a couple of olives. Ooh, and a very nice chestnut lattice. And I did not bleach this one. I didn't want to lighten that one up. Love that dark periostracum. Okay, and got a button, but I have to watch out. These waves can knock you down. They can knock you down. And button snail, just a little guy. Back at Jupiter Inlet, Chalet did get hit by a wave and fell down. She's like, don't play that one. So of course I'll respect her, but it was pretty funny. But I almost got knocked down too, because these waves can really get you if you're not paying attention. All right, so up by the high rock line, there wasn't much going on, but did snag a little bubble, a nice Atlantic bubble, and a partridge ton. Oh, that would have been totally fantastic if that was all together. It's all right. My ton is coming. So that storm system and a few other ones were coming inland, but according to my lightning app, all the lightning was pretty much concentrated in the center of the state. So just a lot of rain. Ha! Do you see it? I couldn't believe it was just sitting there, and I was walking this beach up and down, so this must have just popped up on the beach. Oh my goodness. Let me grab it before a wave does. Fantastic. Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my word. I was beside myself happy to have found this shell just shortly after I got there. Another beach walk. And I was like, we'll just island hop Hutchinson just to see what pops up. Heck yes. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my word, this is pretty and perfect. Yay! Yes, this was pretty fantastic. Oh, and I had high hopes after finding this one for the rest of the time here. And yeah, that storm system came in and I got rained on a little bit. but no lightning. That's the important part. There in the distance is one of the guys I was talking to, and he found he said he found a giant Atlantic murex and a lightning whelk, but a big one, but it was a little bit broken. So there's a bunch of shells, some big ones rolling around. Let's see, here is a knobbed whelk. This one is dextral, opening up on the right side. Normally, like lightning whelks, your typical lightning whelk is sinistral, which opens on the left. So this will make a really nice planter, so I'll hold on to this one. Looking out at the waves like this, just rolling in, a lot of them are breaking really far out because there's lots of rock ledges out here, like at a negative low tide. You can really see them. So it's just so breathtaking, just staring at all that. Just so powerful and beautiful. So I did spend a little bit of time here at Walton Rocks parking lot, completely full of water, but I wanted to keep heading and see what the rest of the beach looked like, because, yep, I'm prepared. I'm ready. My backpack even had a little rain jacket of its own. So here's my next stop, just to see the conditions up here. Right away, started noticing some big old sea heart beans, also known as lucky beans. And I knew the rain was coming, so I was trying to hustle and see how far down this beach I can get, because I did see a lot of shells like this washed up, kind of old and new all mixed in. And even though the tide was dropping because of all the rain and the wind, it was still pretty high. And here is a white Atlantic simile. And let's see, we got, a Scotch bonnet. It's so tiny. I love the little teeny ones. I don't run across the little tiny ones a lot, so that was nice. And here is a candy clam, a spectral bittersweet. Yeah, I had a feeling that was broken. That would have been a nice hidden Scotch bonnet, but normally they don't washed up buried like that. And that is a rough scallop. All right, the rain is starting to come. And this one cleaned up pretty nice. There's a little crown, not too defined, but we'll hold on to it. Doesn't have any holes in that one. Here's a much smaller drift sea. This one is a knickernut, also known as a sea pearl. All right, let's check out this cockle, prickly cockle. Actually, no, that is an Atlantic giant cockle, a juvenile one, and a rosy stridula. I believe I think this one, I did find one a little bit later, but I think this is the false one. I'm trying to look at these things up close and see which one is real and false. And here is a hamburger bean. These beans are rich in an alkaloid called L-Dopa, which is used in treating the tremors from Parkinson's disease. Here's a really pretty yellow on this yellow prickly cockle, and a turkey wing. Great definition on that one. Oh, a piece of a deer cowrie. Or let's see. Yeah, deer cowrie. When those cowries have just the pure white spots, it's a deer. And if it had a black inset spot, those are measled cowries. And they're a little bit smaller than the deer cowries. A turban on the blonder side. Let's see. And okay. It was really windy. It's hard to hold these little light shells. Let's see. An orange, purplish simile. And a cob of a shell. But I really like this one. It looks like a rose with the little broken part at the bottom. Looks like a flower. All right, so we're opening on the left, which will make that sinistral. So that's a broken lightning whelk. And here is another crown, a little bit bigger than the last one we found. Lots of trash washed up, still with all the storm waves, but this one I'll collect for Ella. It's in pretty good condition. And here's another crown, a lot bigger than and broken. I'll still hold on to it. That looks pretty perfect from that side, and I like how the spire swirl is a little protruded at the top there. Here's a nice calico, great hinge wings on that one. And a lady-in-waiting Venus clam. Okay, that's got a hole in it. But this prickly cockle looks pretty nice on this magnum prickly cockle. Gorgeous. Strawberry ring around the base of that. Stunning. Look at that. That looks so pretty. All the ridges. Gorgeous. Got an orange jingle. I will pick up my orange shells. And here's another orange on this. A little bit soft, but I'll still collect it on this broad-ribbed cardita. And a sea heart bean, another one, or lucky beans. Here's a pretty little shark eye, little juvenile guy. And another hamburger bean. This one is the brown variety. They also come in a red variety as well. And here we have a purplish simile and another stridula. Actually, I think I picked up 3 because I think there's another one. I think there's another one after this. Spoiler. And here's the orange purplish simile. So the rain did get a little bit heavier, and I was like, maybe I should go back to the car. No lightning, which is a good thing. But when it gets too bad, I wouldn't be able to look around too much. But let's see, before it gets that bad, let's see what else we could find in all of this wash up. All right, now, it's a calico. It's not too thrilling, but it's huge. So I did hold on to that one. And this is a really nice turkey wing. Has a little bit of a repair. It looks like the shell repaired itself there. So that's pretty cool. Lots of trash in these storm wash-ups. You can see the old and the new seaweed there, the contrast. And it's just mind-blowing how much garbage just washes up. But I did collect a little bit of garbage for myself. I picked up this bottle and another one down the beach as well. Here's another Florida prickly cockle. Some nice pretty peach on the inside of that. I'm going to hold on to that one. And another bean. Okay, another crown conch. We did find a few of those. Here's another calico. I'll hold on to it. Those hinge wings look pretty good. And here is a giant bittersweet clam on the bottom and an egg cockle. So yeah, it got really bad. And at this point, I was like, okay, I can't see the ocean. So let's go. Now, this is just further down the beach after that rainstorm stopped, and I was met by a pile of trash right there at the end of the walk. But what was a little bit alarming, not the flower, but was a syringe, and it still had the needle in it. So I put that sneaker in this bag and picked up that needle. Sorry, it's a little off focus, but I was trying to pay attention to what I was doing. So I stabbed that needle in the shoe and just put it in the trash so it wouldn't slide out. Yikes. So here's 5 days later. The sun was finally out and it was a little bit calm weather-wise, but the waves were still nuts and churning up the beach. This is it's still on Hutchinson Island, and this is just a little bit farther down from Walton Rocks as a landmark. And so I'm walking towards Walton Rocks Beach to see what's out here. Lots of sea beans. These are another type of drift seed, and these are known as sea coconuts. All right, here is another sea heart bean. I used to pass them up a little bit, but then I heard you can craft with them different projects. So I'm like, okay, let me hold on to them, and then maybe I can put a few in my Etsy shop as well. Here is another stridula, large or rosy stridula, and I believe this is the false one as well. Alright, so I'm back in the Walton Rocks area again. No shells that whole long walk, but I did notice a scarp wall that had a bunch of older fossilized shells sticking out of it. So let's hang around here for a little bit and see what we can just pluck right off the wall, and it looks like an older shell bed, just the way it looked compact and the way the sand was. I'll show you a few wide shots and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now I believe this is a pear whelk, pretty big one, nice and fossilized, which the fossilization makes it really, really thick, because sometimes they can be a fairly thin shell. There's a shark eye, and this one was pretty nice for being, a lot of the fossilized shells I saw sticking out were broken, but that one was really good. And here's a channeled whelk. Very nice, a little small, but I'm gonna hold on to it. I just love that definition on it, the little channels, little knots. And here's a clam. I don't know what type it is. A lot of these in different sizes were just all like hashed in here, mixed in here, like it's a cake. Mix it all in. Here's another whelk. I think that, let's see. I don't know, some type of whelk. So the ocean did chew out a huge section of this wall. So I just imagine all those shells that came out of this scarp wall might in the future just be washed up in this area for a little while. This is kind of towards the end of the wall, and I took another long walk back and just kind of looked in the same area, coming from a different angle. And we'll see, and let's see, this looks like looks like a knobbed, yeah, this is a knobbed whelk opening up on the right, so this would be a dextral shell. Most gastropods are dextral, opening or coiling to the right. And okay, it's a sea turtle nest, and that's about how far it was, but this must have been really old because it still has roots in it. So this was definitely not, I don't believe, from this season. Must have been there for quite some time. Just like all these other shells that are in here. Just so many of them just sandwiched and stacked up like this. Here's another little whelk. All right, so that looks like a lightning whelk right off the bat, but it was opening on the right side. And I was like, wait a minute. I mean, it could be a knobbed whelk, but then I was like, oh, did I just put back a right-handed lightning whelk? Yikes. I might have. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Oh, those are super rare. And I just sat it down. All right, so here is a pear. I believe that's a pear whelk. I did run into a few clams that had both valves on them. Not sure exactly what that is. It kind of looks like a same shape as a sunray Venus clam. Now this one had me stumped because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's just a channeled whelk, just like really soft and rounded. But I don't know, that siphon canal down there at the bottom just looks a little too short. And the way that when I washed off the growth lines, like here's the washed off, I don't know, the growth lines on the bottom just don't look broken off, so I'm not really sure. Here's that pear whelk all nice and cleaned up, or washed off. And that one was pretty nice. I think that was my favorite one. Out of all the ones that I was able to find hidden in, well not hidden, but exposed in the scarp wall. Okay, here's another one. Let's see. This is, okay, now that I can tell the siphonal canal is broken on that knobbed whelk. So go ahead and put that one back. But I believe that other one, I'm just not really sure. I'll show you again at the end of the shell haul to see what that one was. And here is a prickly cockle, Florida prickly cockle. So this whole scarp wall area was probably like, I'll estimate like maybe 20 or 30 feet long. It wasn't too much of the beach, but it was amazing just to be able to see all these shells just popping right out of it. Here's another channeled whelk, and this was a really nice one because it didn't have a hole on it. That little one that I found before had a little bitty hole on it. And there is another older sea turtle nest with the eggs just, this one was just non-viable. So it must have just maybe got compacted at the time and it did not survive. I was just so fascinated to see all these like larger and big chunks of shells just hanging out on this scarp wall. Now this is one that I haven't seen before. I'm assuming this is a land snail because it's really, look how thin that shell is. But that sand did not wash out. It was like stone, like hard as stone in there. So I did hold on to that one because I found it pretty interesting. Here's another broken siphon canal on that one, but just laden with shells in this one area, this stretch of area. Here's a pretty big quahog. Did find lots of those. And see this sand, like that mud, it's just not coming off. So it started to solidify a lot of these shells right into the rock. Just crazy. Look how huge that is. And my hands are, I have really big hands. So this is a really big shell. If Chalet or like, I don't know, normal size woman's hands was holding that, you could get a really good understanding of how big that really was. Here's another Florida prickly cockle with great definition. Look at that. Like, to be fossilized and to be that detailed on that prickly was pretty awesome. And I for sure held on. I held on to that shell. Here's an olive. I did find a few of these sticking out. So I'm going to hold on. I'll just hold on to this one. It's not in perfect condition, but it's a fossilized one. We'll see. Here's another, let's see, probably another pair. But I already have one, so I'll just leave that. And lots of shells washed up, or were washing out with this scarping. So I think there's a lot of shells in the water from this wall. This was pretty surprising. It's an olive, but it's glossy still, even after it dried, and it has a very nice tip on it. So I held on to that, found a few coral pieces, well, a couple of coral pieces that are here. I won't collect it, but there was coral, just so much concentrated. And a rock. I do not know anything about rocks or crystallization of rocks, but I just found this one very pretty. It twinkled and it washed off and pretty good. So hey, found my beach rock, my beach crystal. And there is a cone. Now I don't know if you can find, I guess you could find Florida cones on the East Coast, and I'm not even sure that's a Florida cone, but it kind of looks like it, maybe sort of. Or it could be safe with an Atlantic cone because it came out of the Atlantic and it is a cone. So here are all the shells that I collected that were fossilized from all that scarping. And there just wasn't much else on the beach, so I just spent the rest of my time collecting trash. And these plastic pigs are just so mysterious. I'm sure you're familiar with these plastic pigs on Jupiter Island, Hutchinson Island, even down to Palm Beach. I have no idea like where they come from, but there's just tons. I mean, maybe like a shipment of them got spilled somehow in the Atlantic, and all these plastic pigs are washing up. Not too sure, but I found a girl and I found a boy. So I took those off the beach, and along with a lot of trash. I just hate all this trash on the beach after these storms. So I did what I could. I filled up the bags that I had, and here are all of the shells that I found collectively on Hutchinson Island. So about half of my shell haul was these fossilized shells, so it was really nice to see the different varieties that I was able to pull out from just a small little scarping area. And if you happen to know what kind of like crystallized rock this one is, let me know. I was just very happy to have found it. I think it's really pretty. And here's my mystery shell, which I think could maybe just be a channeled whelk that's broken, but again, you can see at the bottom where the siphon would be, it just doesn't look broken, so I'm not 100% sure what that is. Love the little tiny channeled whelk. I think that's pretty. And even the broken lightning whelk in my rose, I think is nice. And the crown of the beach walk was this lion's paw, hands down. Just a gorgeous palm size. I love the gradation of color on the back of that, just so gorgeous. The turkey wings were really pretty. Love the repaired one. And the chestnut lattice was just so nice. All I did is just wash it off with some soap and water because I did not want to bleach that periostracum up any lighter. The 2 stridulas, I don't know what happened to the third one. I know there was 3. There's some similes and some beans, some coffee beans. And I grabbed 2 of those bottles, and to save them I'll put some tinies in there, some lucky beans, and that calico. Look, I did put it in 6% hydrogen peroxide, and I need to let it soak a little longer to get all of the black out, but time was of the essence. But look at that and compare it to these other 2. I mean, it's just a monster of a calico, so I'm gonna hold on to it just for sheer size. And I already put some succulents in that knobbed walk, so that worked out perfect. Add that to my succulent garden. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And hopefully after these storm waves calm down, I want to get out there actually this current week and see what's out there for us. I can't wait till next time. And until then, I leave you with this.